In an age when the Red Death, a terrible and merciless disease, had spread across the land, bringing people to death with unimaginable suffering, Prince Prospero, a wealthy and dignified noble, decided to escape this calamity. He did not care for the ordinary people. He only wanted to protect himself and his wealthy companions from the threat of death. So he, along with a group of loyal friends and nobles, took refuge in a vast, fortified, and remote castle. Walls high and gates of iron, built in such a way that nothing could get in and no one could leave. Inside the castle, life was completely separated from the outside world. The prince and his companions, despite hearing horrifying news of those suffering from the disease, immersed themselves in a world of pleasure and luxury. He held lavish, noisy parties. Halls were filled with pleasant music, colorful lights, the scent of exquisite food, and the sounds of laughter and dancing. Prospero intended, through this, to drive fear and anxiety about death from his mind and others, creating a space where death seemed only to await outside the castle. However, this superficial merriment was accompanied by a strange and mysterious atmosphere. The castle was full of diverse and colorful rooms. Each room, with its particular drapes and decor, evoked a different feeling in the viewer. The final room, however, was black with crimson drapes, terrifying and somber, a place no one dared enter. This room was a clear symbol of death and blood, and even looking at it from afar instilled deep anxiety in the guests. One night, during one of the most extravagant parties, where sound and light temporarily erased all fear and dread, the mysterious, unknown guest appeared. His clothing resembled the Red Death. His body was covered with gruesome, bloody sores, and his face showed nothing but horror and destruction. The guests, who had so far believed themselves entirely safe, were terrified at the sight of him. No one knew who he was or where he had come from, and fear rippled through the castle. Prospero, with the pride that had always set him apart, decided to follow this mysterious figure. He wanted to uncover the truth, and perhaps, by confronting it, prove his power and control. The guests watched him with anxiety, and a heavy silence fell over the hall. Prospero proceeded to the black room and confronted the unknown guest. In that very moment, Prospero's death arrived. He suddenly fell to the ground, unable to move, and as soon as he died, the Red Death spread to all the other guests. No one could escape the castle. One by one, they perished, and the joy and music were replaced by complete silence. The castle, once seemingly safe, had become a prison of death. In the end, the story shows that no walls, wealth, or power can protect humans from death. Mortality is inevitable, even for the rich and powerful. Human fear and pride in the face of death, against an uncontrollable force, are meaningless. Now that we've summarized the Masque of the Red Death, it's time to look deeper. This story is not only frightening, but also a psychological analysis of pride, denial, and humanity's attempt to escape death. Edgar Allan Poe uses symbolism and setting to depict fear and mortality, delivering profound messages about humans and society. Now that we've heard a brief summary of the Masque of the Red Death, it's time to take a deeper look. This story is not only frightening, but also a psychological analysis of pride, denial, and humanity's attempt to escape death. Through symbolism and atmosphere, Edgar Allan Poe brings fear and mortality to life, delivering profound messages about human nature and society. Links to his other stories are available in the description. If you're interested, feel free to listen. Edgar Allan Poe's The Masque of the Red Death is not just a scary tale. It is a profound psychological study of fear, pride, and human attempts to evade the reality of death. Prince Prospero, the central character, symbolizes human pride and self-centeredness. He attempts to escape the horrific reality of death through his wealth and power, retreating with his wealthy companions to a fortified, remote castle. Life inside the castle, with extravagant parties and superficial pleasures, represents humanity's effort to suppress anxiety and avoid reality. Psychologically, Prospero exemplifies the defense mechanism of denial. He completely ignores death, believing that entertainment, music, and pleasure can shield him from fear and destruction. The castle's guests participate in this psychological escape. By imitating the prince and immersing themselves in temporary pleasures, they avoid confronting their own fears. This behavior exemplifies collective evasion of reality, a group hoping that joy and entertainment will silence their anxieties. One of the story's key symbols is the castle's rooms. Each room, with its specific color and decor, represents a part of human psychological experience. The black room with crimson drapes symbolizes death and the inevitable anxiety that comes with it, reminding us that even in the opulent world of the wealthy, the harsh truth of life's and cannot be hidden. From an analytical psychology perspective, this room can be interpreted as the shadow of human personality, the part of the mind people try to escape but must eventually confront. The appearance of the mysterious guest in the Red Death costume marks the story's climax. He symbolizes the uncontrollable reality of death, a force that no wealth, power, or entertainment can prevent. When Prospero and the guests face him, death sweeps over everyone, demonstrating that no human defense mechanism can save us from our ultimate fate. Overall, the story offers a psychological analysis of human behavior toward death and existential anxiety. Prince Prospero, pride and denial of death's reality. Guests, collective evasion and escape into superficial pleasures. Castle rooms, representation of psychological stages and hidden aspects